G'day traders, Sam here from Trade to Prosper. Today is Sunday, the 2nd of July, and I thought I'd better look at Solana and see how it's doing on the macro. And since Solana used to be called ETH killer, might be still the case. Unfortunately, it's been given some bad news in regards to the SEC, along with Matic. They obviously targeted the tokens that are doing very well and probably compete against Ethereum. So they must be protecting Ethereum in some way, because both Matic and Solana are going to tackle Ethereum, and maybe the elite are looking at Ethereum as a means of being promoted and then a system of control, visibility. So they might be tokenizing everything with Ethereum because it was one of the early ones. That's my theory. However, let's just look at Solana and look at what are the similarities in the price action from compared to Ethereum. So when I looked at Ethereum back in 2018, it did its top and it came down to December 2018. And what I'm looking at that, obviously I don't want to look at something earlier because the markets weren't as mature, because it was only Ethereum at the time, so I don't know if that's going to be any help. But what I did was I wanted to do this one. So what I did is I lined them up. So if we were to do this, just move it across. So we have the bottom as Ethereum on the 2-day chart, and the top is Solana on Binance on the 2-day chart. We did our wave 5 count, very similar, so our top is there, as you can see, our 5 and our 5, and then we come down to the bottom of Ethereum back then, and this looks like Solana as well. What is interesting is, not far off, when it did come down and did the bounce, it is pretty much almost identical, except for two things. The 0.5 Fibonacci was Solana's rejection, where Ethereum is the 0.618. The other thing is interesting is these moving averages. They also became resistance. So as price went down, these moving averages kept acting as resistance. Same as Ethereum, all the way down, hits its bottom, and then you can observe the similarities there. What I've also looked at is the levels. So with Solana, let's just do this for a sec. You can see a few things of Solana. We have a few key levels. Obviously that was the last one. And when price did come up, it saw this as resistance, as you can see. And this also was acting as a resistance and support until the moving averages caught up to it and it pushed it down. And that is pretty much similar to this. Just capitulation. Very similar capitulation. So the price action is very similar. And why not? It has the same build-up with like Ethereum. So far so good. The fractal is there. It doesn't necessarily have to be exact, but the levels are important. Now, if you look at Ethereum's level, this level and this level were important, and you can see how that comes across, and so on. What I've noticed is I've got this level. Unfortunately, this one with Ethereum it is actually a bit lower, but and with Solana it's very even. So this the 0.3 versus the 0.3 here are slightly different in terms of the candlesticks and the horizontal level, because when this came up, it found the resistance slightly lower than this point here on level for the third wave. With Solana, it's actually hit it. It's actually hit that level. So Solana is a bit more bullish on the bounce. However, we've got this stubbornness for it to come down, where Ethereum was more volatile but actually easier to trade, more so. But what you can see is the moving averages coming down, and ever so slightly right here we broke. So what we did was we broke against this one of these moving averages. So you can see all my moving averages here: weekly 21, weekly SMA, EMA 21. Then I got the 50 and the 200 on the daily. So when we break those, we came across this resistance from the previous level. So it would make sense that if we break this, which is a 618 at the moment, we break across this, we're going to find resistance here, and then go, and we see this a lot of the time, stuck between. And then if it was to make the move, this is our golden ratio, which is about $46 to $54. So we will likely hit that and then get a rejection. That is my gut feeling. Based on Ethereum, it's so far aligned, and that was my estimation, something like that. In terms of time frame, it is not in the same ballpark, because when we saw the time frame here, from this bottom to the top, it took 193 days, and I think we're way past that. We're up to 185. Yeah. So 193, it's not far off, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to take longer, and anyway, it's just going to be different from a time frame perspective. That's because probably Bitcoin and all the rest are also dragging out. But I do believe that, and when we look at it from a Fibonacci perspective, if that's the bottom and that's 1, we have a golden ratios up here as 1.618. We're very similar to that level here. So so that is a clear resistance level there, and it equates to our golden ratio. So it might overperform with a wick, but I will be taking profit there. But that is the plan, and see how it aligns with it. We just need to see it at the time, and if there's rejection, well, the golden ratio is a good rejection. This level was previous rejection, and then what we'll see is it just comes back down again, and then it is a sigma move. So we have our 1, 2, 3, then ABC correction. So if we move this across, and we feel line it up along those lines, we will come back down into the cradle. So we will come into this strong support level, maybe even drop further, like so what happened here, we dropped. So what we're going to do is just plan ahead and then track it. So it just dropped below the golden ratio. If we take the wick out, it is the 6.8, and if we'll see, okay, we'll just let's see that. It's probably the 0.5. Where is it? Reverse that. It's actually dropped more, didn't it? There you go. So we did get the wick to 0.236. However, the previous bottom, so we might get a bit of a wick, but you can see that this level aligns with a previous support level. So we keep an eye on that, and if we play it safe, we'll probably do the same. Do that. Just got to do the opposite, obviously. And it might just come down to this level here, or to the 0.236, which will be a good buying position. Yes, it does. So this is another wave down. So we've got the bear, what's that? Bear market rally, which is a bullish rally to a particular point, and then back down. So the alt season is, in the past, it took a long time, and at the same time, Bitcoin performed a whole lot better up here. Bitcoin also dropped as well. This we could dismiss because that was a black swan event. So in an ideal situation, if we were to come back down here, or back down here, that would be the nice buy, and it's a nice Wyckoff scenario where we got our selling climax and our secondary test, and then up it goes, bull market. In actual fact, this will probably come back down and then continue up there if we ignore the black swan event, which is the COVID event. So we would have probably found support on these moving averages before we went up. So this just delayed the event. So this would have been a strong support line, and we might need to look at the moving averages, but if it was to break, we might find the moving averages to be support and up there. If it doesn't hold, then we go below and then look for the regain of those moving averages. As you can see, as soon as we pass those moving averages, they become our main support all the way through, and the bull market just kept going with those moving averages to a particular point, and then the bear market, and that's it. So that is my alignment with Ethereum, with Solana, and if things turn out really well, look at Ethereum. If we put it on the non-logarithmic, so we're down here. Look at that potential move, and if we do the same, compare that. So we went to 250, and you can see how Ethereum compared. So Solana, I just hope it does the same. And so this phase matches that, and then we had this mega run. And if you look at Ethereum, actually, if we look at it from this perspective, just give us a sec, guys. Damn it. Really hate the way they've changed that. So we were up to about $1,300 there, and then we came down to $83, right? Here, and that was a drop of 94%. So we were up to about 260, nowhere near the 1,000, and we dropped down to $18. And that was a 96%. So 2% the difference, and so far even the drop pullback is equivalent. So that is looking positive for Solana, as long as things don't change in terms of the market. Hopefully Solana doesn't mess up with any developments, and it doesn't matter what the SEC does. If the rest of the world looks at Solana in a positive way, it's still going to go. So that is my thoughts for Solana in terms of Ethereum. Previous price action for Ethereum, the alignment is pretty good, and so far all we can do is plan it, and then and track it and trade accordingly. We'll keep an eye on Solana. Matic, it will be another one that I'll be looking at and see how that's been performing in terms of its alignment to Ethereum, or any other one that comes to mind. So stay tuned for that, and please give me comments if you like this or not, and talk to you soon. Cheers.